Namaskar, Jai Hind. Rafale deal done. 114 Rafales purchased by India, one stroke, one defense minister, one pen, and the deal is done. Is it adequate? Do we need this? What is the strategic analysis? Let me go over this to give you the perspective. The deal is vital for India. If I look at the gap between ideal and availability, there's a huge gap. We need to fill the margin, but by whom? When America has F-35, Russia is offering Su-57, China, the right winger enemy of ours, is with J-20s. Can I be left behind with barely 29 squadrons? Whereas the net assessment and everything says 42 squadrons. All of us know about it. But what has been done? There has been remarks by the Indian Air Chief. They have been spate. They have been uh, Operation Sindoor, where we proved the metal. Rafale is one that proved the metal. So, in this scenario, when India definitely, decidedly, urgently needs it, one is, why should we get into the urgent and important quadrangle? If we had planned long back, we would have got ours. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So the situation today is, for the mistakes of past 30 years, 40 years, that we did not permit our private players to come into the defense sector. We're paying the price now. Better late than never. It has come now, and private sector has been permitted. But to start with, private sector has given us the missiles, the tanks, the artillery guns, and they can give us fighter jets as well. Believe in them, focus on them, it will come. For the time being that we do not have the technology, no nation is ready to give you transfer of technology. Here is one opportunity, that instead of uh, fifth generation, sixth generation fighter jet, and that dream remains dream until we have our own fighter jet, and that's a long distance. Therefore, in this context, when the requirement is urgent, we definitely need the strategic air assets to meet the two adversary and the changing geostrategic situations the world over. We definitely are in a need. And President Macron being in Delhi for AI summit is the right time. The deal has been signed. To my mind, there are critics who would say, why 4.5 generation fighter jet when we can have better? But the question is, shall we have our own technology? If I put the two together, today we have ordered for 114 Rafale jets, 18 flyaway condition, balance 96 would come in and will be manufactured in India. That is enough for us to get the edge. Come to the home advantage. In the home advantage, if I look into our own advanced medium combat aircraft, how far is it? A prototype at best can be created, say, by mid 29, a little delay, latest by 30. You give genuine time for them to develop the actionable fighter aircraft that can come into operational role. Another 10 years. So it is not before 2035 that own indigenous aircraft will be flying in Indian airspace and would be countering the enemy. Here is an option that by the time we create our own indigenous, which is a must. We have ISRO has proved it. We have had Chandrayaan, we have had Mangalyaan, we have had Agni, we have BrahMos, we have all sorts of evidences to say we can do it. So Atmanirbhar Bharat continues. Vision 2047 continues. We continue on the path of growth, yet the essential assets are very crucial. Let me do a little analysis from Kautilyan point of view, Arthashastra point of view. Saptanga theory says that out of the seven elements that each state must have, Durg and Dand are one of the most important. Durg is your it's not generally the fort, it's the overall area, defense of the area. So defense of the country is very important, and you should have adequate resources and assets to guard that. Dand is referring to a very strong Sena. In the present context, he had, you remember, infantry, cavalry, he had chariots, he had elephants. Now, the four departments he had 2,300 years ago. We have the similar situation now where we have army, navy, air force, and every asset is required to be most modern and very lethal and very strong. We are a very potent defense forces, the world knows about it. But the present situation, when the air asset has become weaker, the Dand or Sena has become weaker. And therefrom, from Arthashastra's point of view, our strength has reduced. That means what? Go to Shadgunya theory. It says your Sandhi stroke Vigraha is required to be balanced. Sandhi, that means peace, is maintained by Samashraya and Asan. Samashraya is alliances. Alliances for Asan, positioning. How do you position your defense forces when you have adequate alliances? That's the only time when it is possible. So, how do you create these alliances? Whether you do it with China, Russia, America, options are available. What is the best option? We have already proved that Rafales were deadly aircrafts in Operation Sindoor. You remember Air Marshal Kapoor saying, definitely the hero of the Operation Sindoor. Rafale proved it. We have fighter pilots who are experienced and who can use this aircraft. So instead of going for F-35 or Su-57, here is an option where we already have proved it, and we can transfer the technology and use it for our own nation. Come to the next point. With this strategic gap and Samashraya and Asan, you head towards Yana. Yan means preparation for war. Whatever be the social, economic, political condition in the country, the Sena has to be the strongest. There's no doubt about it. And 24 by 7, we have to be prepared to meet any adversary at any point of time. There are no mitra in this world today. Neighbor is your biggest enemy. And therefore, rely on the mandal concept, rely on creating the mandals, alliances, and continue to work towards Yan. And if you continue to prepare for war, you will never miss on the peace part of it. Alongside the Rafale, we continue to develop rest of our forces which are in big swing. In the recent days, we have seen growth, acquisition, and ships in the naval field as well. So this essential requirement of uh, keeping the army, navy, and air force most technically advanced, owning the best equipment, and projecting ourselves as Samashraya and Asana is required in today's context. And the Saptang theory, this element is the most essential element. Coming to you and me as general citizens, we only listen to the news, feel happy or unhappy about it, and then not very long from now we'll forget that we had a deal. But for the forces, for the nation, for our net assessment, when we do the statecraft, we do the analysis, we see that this is an essential requirement. Pros and cons can be discussed, debated, and seen. But what I see in the present context, that there is definitely a need. The need has the options. Out of these options, this is probably, I find, one of the best options, where it is a multi-role aircraft, it has the ground to air strike capability, it has got the radar crossing suitability which can identify the enemy aircraft at over 200 kilometers. So if we analyze this aircraft and the employability of this aircraft, I find this is most suitable in the present context. And I think the present government and Prime Minister Modi needs to be complimented for this very strong step, which was lacking for all these years. So, coming to the conclusion that there is a need, evaluation says, strategic analysis says it can be met, options are available, and out of these options, the present Rafale, I feel, is one of the finest option the government has selected. Simultaneously, yes, the budgetary allocation and creation of our own indigenous aircraft is a must. We have had setbacks, especially in the aircraft industry. We need to work on this. We need to work on the private sector coming in. Now the good senses prevailed, and Tata's Adani Defense and L&T, I see they are coming in along with HAL and the BEL, and I'm sure this conglomerate of business, defense, and the decision makers will put us in the right spot. So with this analysis, your comments are most welcome. You may connect up with me for more on the strategic analysis and for leadership checkouts, so that we can work on, actually it is the leader who takes the decision. Right decision for right asset will make our nation strong. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Namaskar.